Welcome to Lending Forward, a podcast where we're lending every bit of what we know to our listeners. From real conversations and lessons learned deep within the industry to education and forward thinking. Together, we're lending forward. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our channels and connect with us on www.atlanticbay.com. Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group, LLC, NMLS number 72043, NMLSconsumeraccess.org is an equal opportunity lender located at 600 Lynn Haven Parkway, Suite 203, Virginia Beach, Virginia, 23452. Welcome to another episode of Lending Forward. I'm your host, Taylor Ellard, and joining me today is the one and only Jordan Yawn. Welcome, Jordan.
Hey, Tay, how's it going?
Good. We're excited to have you. You are helping me kind of round out homeownership month. So we've talked through VA loans. We've talked through first-time home buyers. We've really kind of tried to round it out with refis, but now I'm going to end it with you. So investment properties. So walk me through how you got into this position and what's made you so successful, just to get like a little bit of a taste of what you're like.
Yeah. I was actually a teacher for 6 years, a high school AD and a high school basketball and baseball coach. Yeah. And one day I just, one of my business partners, Tyler Turner, kind of got a hold of me one day. I was like, dude, come give it a shot, man. Right. And leap of faith, went and did it, gave it a shot. Tyler kind of helped me get started. And a guy named John kind of helped me out as well. And just kind of taught me the ropes, and kind of there it was from there. Yeah. So that's five years now.
Wow. So 5 years, walk me through what the market was like when you first got started.
I got in after that kind of weird lull in 2018. Mm-hmm. So when I got in, I locked my first loan ever was a 5.625 conventional. Yeah. I remember it very vividly. And then as it was kind of strange because I couldn't have timed the market any more perfect. Right. Rates are in the fives. And then the next month I was like, this is getting easier. Rates are now in the fours. Right. And then they were in the fours for a little while. You locked a bunch of people in the fours. Then, you had, roughly like a year of the low fours and threes. Yep. And then COVID. Yeah. And COVID, if you were basically in the market and had a pipeline during COVID, it was, at least you had a little bit, I didn't have much at the time, but you had your new refi clients, your existing clients. And so honestly, it was kind of timing of the market that really helped me get my start as one of the few things. Yeah.
You timed it nicely. I mean, and I think, if you're a loan officer getting started right now, sometimes I've heard it's good to get started in like a winter, right? Where it's a little bit slower, you're navigating your way through it. But for those who are sitting on the sidelines right now, maybe they're really happy with where they're at and they know they've got some serious equity. What would you kind of say from an investment standpoint? And we've had Barry Habib on here. We've had plenty of folks that can speak to the economy and why real estate is such a safe investment. But from your point of view, how do you kind of know a trigger of I'm ready to purchase my first investment property?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that I hear from my investors, my clients, is taxes. Taxes are eating me alive. And real estate is, it's a great place to harbor money. It's a great place to curb inflation. It can also be a fun hobby as well. Me and my wife we like kind of taking care of our Airbnb and such, but there's so many advantages to it. Let's say, just use a round number. Let's say you have $50,000 to invest, just, more achievable than not. Maybe $200,000 property, $50,000 on invest. Okay. $200,000 property. Let's say you get 7% appreciation. In the last couple of years, that's definitely not unheard of. So your first year, $14,000 just in appreciation. You've done nothing to it. Okay. Well, the next year, if you got another 7, and keep in mind, if the market average is 7, I feel like that's not unrealistic, especially if you're near a city, especially with inflation the way it is right now. You can probably see, in COVID, we saw 20 to 40% in some places, but, very average 7. So you're going up $14,000 a year, and someone else is paying your mortgage, and you use a $50,000 money that you had set to the side that you are very comfortable using that to make more money, okay? That is just sitting there growing in equity, growing in equity, growing in equity. Well, let's just say that home was in an LLC. Well, there's probably some upkeep to the property, right? Maybe you need a new HVAC, maybe you need to do some landscaping, maybe, who knows? Maybe you're doing some marketing for it, and you have a little business credit card under your LLC, and you're keeping all your invoices. You're doing your marketing, you're doing your renos. Well, that's a write-off in the year. So let's say you have somebody, let's say the mortgage on that place is $1,300 a month ballpark, and you have a rent in there for, let's just say $1,300. So at the end of the year, any income you've made, if you can produce, obviously not a CPA, and this is not financial advice, but if you can produce invoices, receipts, repairs, depreciation, if you can produce anything to write that income down and to a comfortable amount that you and your CPA discuss is good for you, well, you can also take a loss on it. You can also use other assets to write off on it. And then at the end of the day, when you go to sell that home, I really hope they stay into play. But let's say you go to sell that home, buy another one. We have what's called a 1031 exchange. And you have attorneys and such that help with 1031 attorneys, but they basically help you would sell a property. And when you sell an investment property, you have to pay capital gains tax. Right. With a primary residence, at least, within primary residence, you're at least, if you own the property for 2 years, it was $250,000 for one single person, $500,000 if you're married. Mm-hmm. But on an investment property, it is what it is. You're paying capital gains on it no matter what. So if your $50,000 initial investment that you put into it, the rest of the money that's you got from appreciation and such, well, 1031 exchange, that way you do not have to pay capital gain tax on it. And let's say you did 7%, you kept the property for 10 years. Okay, well, every bit of profit that you had there, you're rolling over to the new property in cash. You're basically using for down payment. You're not paying taxes on it. You can get your $50,000 back. So Taylor's $50,000 that she put in there, that is right back to you. It was very safe. You didn't pay any taxes on that $50,000. That was your investment. But your appreciation, well, you can move that to another property.
Right.
Now you have way more equity to put in a new property. You get your initial investment back and you rinse and repeat. Or maybe you pull cash out of the home, maybe do a cash out refinance and buy another property, never touching your $50,000 you put in. You're just pulling out equity that's in the property. And if your rent is increasing year to year, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of how the world works. You're going to continue to keep cash flowing the longer you have that property. And it kind of just builds up on itself.
Huge. I think it's something that people don't realize, that for a small amount of money, you can get so much gain. And then like you said, it's rinse and repeat. And so that's kind of how some of the top dogs make their money, is by having so many different investment properties. Walk us through tapping into your agents on property management and what that might look like. Because I do think there's that caveat that you've got to maintain this property and you might not have the time, but you can lean into some of your partners that do. How do you kind of recommend that process?
Yeah. So, kind of really cool. I work with some awesome agents, and a lot of the agents I work with, not a lot, a few, are also property managers. Right. Now, even the ones that are not property managers, they will always, if your client ever says, I'm kind of kicking around the idea of keeping my home and renting it out. Mm-hmm. Well, that is a way, and that is the only way for some people to ever achieve generational wealth. If someone is making the area median income, and let's say in Charlotte, it's very zip code to zip code. So it could be 60, it could be 90 around here. But let's say, someone's making area median income, you're basically keeping up. Everything's so expensive nowadays. If you can keep a property that, let's say, was your first home, You bought it, the mortgage was very affordable then. Now you're 6 years in, maybe you're married, you have some kids, time to upgrade. Well, a lot of my agents will always ask, any thought in renting it out? Mm-hmm. They'll run rent comparables, see if it makes sense, give them the data. If it makes sense, if you have the down payment, a lot of times, if you can get a lease on that property while you're in, looking for a new home, and let's say you just go ahead and get a lease just saying, all right, well, I have so-and-so, and they're going to put a deposit down in end of July and start renting it. You have a year-long lease. You can actually take 75% of that mortgage, sometimes a little more, and we don't count it against you, your debt income, because that is taken care of. Right. There is a 25% gross vacancy factor. If you're still going to have that, but you're only getting counted 25% of the mortgage against you versus the whole 100%. Helps to qualify for the new home. Right. And if you have the funds to appropriate, or maybe you pull the funds out on that, like an equity line or something beforehand on that primary residence, you can just buy your new property and continue to rent that property out. So definitely have that.
Yeah.
Now, my agents, I do have a few agents that are property managers also. I know each of them, I know two of them are definitely watching this. Depending on the firm, you're looking 10, 15% to manage those properties, and you have to do nothing. Me personally, with we have a Airbnb that we kind of run. It's a pain in the butt. Mm-hmm. It is a pain. We do it because it's fun. We like it, but some of the things you got to deal with is like, gosh, I'd love to just pay somebody to do it. And what our lake house is, it's actually really hard to find somebody to manage that because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
But my previous clients that are using some of these property management companies, they love it. It's a set it, forget it. You pay one set fee per month. A lot of times it's just drafted right out of the account. After your rent is already paid to you, they take a little cut themselves. Right. It's done. They take care of all your maintenance, change your air filters, keep a tenant in there for you, make sure the tenant's in, out, the lease is managed, the whole nine. You can live your life, hang with your kids, hang with your family, do whatever you want, or just sit back and collect checks.
Yeah. It's a nice way to live.
It is. And if you can keep buying primary residences, one primary after another, you can keep stacking rental properties, because once you live in one, you can turn that into an investment property, and you don't have to call us and say, this is an investment now. No, right. You just buy your next primary after you live in it for a year. Mm-hmm. And you can keep stacking them up and keep buying in primary residences, but turn into a year, and you can just, as long as the debt to income can handle it, 5% down each way.
Wow. You said 5% down.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes 3% down, sometimes 0% down. Who knows? Yeah, but most consistent way is 5% just kind of governs all of it.
I just had to highlight that because some people are still in the realm of 20%. And with investment properties, you're just really like, you just don't know. And so I think that's a really good thing to highlight.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Well, what are you thinking 2024, 2025 market is going to look like? You kind of walked us through where it's been just from, like I said, we're rounding out homeownership month. So what are you thinking is next as far as the market goes?
Yeah. Well, the Fed's talking today, and there's, we got PPI coming out soon, and it's really looking like the Fed's starting to trust it. Obviously, CPI is loved by everyone, but PPI, you also have Trueflation that came out. That's supposed to be a little bit better of a measurement of inflation. But as all this comes out, and you have pending talks of, possible conflict with other countries, and all this just noise, right? It's just everywhere. It's just noise. It freaks people out. It freaks me out. I have children. I just want to go to Taco Bell for lunch or something and just not have, just planes come through the sky. It's a lot of noise. Right. And it kind of shadows what you'll see that I really feel is going to happen in the market. Right now, rates are what they are. Let's say they're upper 6s, 7s on a 30-year fix, good credit, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
All right. when houses come in, or when rates go to the 6s and the 5s, everyone that's sitting on the sidelines right now, I've already got people paying $50,000 to $100,000 over asking on certain homes. And these are not $2 million homes. These are $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 homes, $500,000 homes. When let's say you drop it a point and it's going to save you $350 a month. Well, it opens up your market for people to go up in price, or people logically are like, okay, I'll buy now.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen to home prices? All your competition probably just quadrupled, because you have people that are a little shaky on the market that are just sitting back waiting, and they have money. They definitely have money. They're coming. So we kind of have a pent up. It's almost like a pent up backlog of buyers that want to buy, that are paying, $1,500 to $3,600 a month in rent. I'm seeing some crazy ones come through, and they have so much knowledge on the market, because social media and everybody is getting so good at educating everyone. They're biding their time, and they'll be flooding the market in.
Yep. Well, strap on your boots. We're going to be in for it if that's the case, right?
I'm ready.
Well, we appreciate you being on Lending Forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate it.
Thanks again for listening to the Lending Forward podcast, powered by Atlantic Bay Mortgage Group. Don't forget to tune in next week and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Remember, we all play a part in lending forward. So go lend something forward today.